All right, so I'm out here in my shop and I'm doing something a little different because I want to be able to see better when I'm driving home in my car, not my Jeep, but my car, because it's an older car. It's a 2003, and it's got some issues where the headlights are really foggy. And so you can't see squat coming home. You can't even tell the headlights are on. Sometimes it feels so bad. Then if you look at it, as you can tell, as I get closer, it's pretty yellowish color. It's kind of got all scratched up, and especially on the side over here. I'm not sure exactly what happened there, but both the front headlights are that way. They're hazy and they should be clear, and you can't see anything. So what I want to do is clean them up, and I've never really done this before, so I just kind of went down to Harbor Freight, you know, our favorite store for finding all kinds of odds and ends, and I picked up this little kit, and it's supposed to be for this stuff, you know, kind of cleaning up your headlights. And I don't know, it seemed to be okay online for reviews people had done. And I think it has got everything in the kit except for one little detail. And that one little detail is for the longevity of the light after you're done cleaning it. Like there's supposed to be this one more polish. And in fact, the kit calls it a synthetic wax protectant. So I got to get that, but I have everything else. It looks like I can apply that after I'm done anyways. So it just makes sure that the lights stay nice and clean for a lot longer. It says that this final step will provide protection from the elements. So I got to make sure it gets put on. But outside of that, I've got everything else. I've got the sanding, I've got the polishing, and as you can see, I already taped it off. So I'm gonna give this a shot, and if I totally ruin the headlights, it's not that big of a deal because they're terrible anyways. So there we go, let's see what happens. So in the instructions, it says to start with a drill, and it gives you this little mounting thing and the little sanding pad, so I just stuck this pad on there. It said to start with the 500. So I go 500, then 800, then a 3000. Now the 3000 says it requires some water, so you kind of gotta spray it down a little bit. It's got to be a little bit wet. You can't just do it dry. For the 500 and the 800, it says you're just ready to go with it, and it says it should just make the whole headlight real cloudy. Now I put some earmuffs on because after a while this sound is just going to be irritating. Well, I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm doing it right. I've got these really weird yellow spots, pretty dark, you can see there. But the rest of it seems like it's scratched out or it's sanded properly. However, they only gave me 4 pads of the 500. I kind of wish that there was at least 6 so I could do 3 per headlight. And if you notice that on the pad itself, it kind of builds up that yellow stuff, which is right here on this. And I don't know if the next set will really sand that out. Based on my experience of sanding, I would say no. But I can't seem to get it off. And I don't know. Yeah, I'm not real happy with it right now, so I don't know. Might just do a little bit more. Hopefully I can use up a little bit more of the sanding pad. Yikes. maybe going too much in one spot, kind of burning it into the headlight. See if I can find a razor blade and just kind of slowly scrape it back off. I don't know. All right, well, it's not perfect, and I knew it wasn't going to be, but we can see definitely a difference. And I don't know, might just need to replace the headlights or have it done more professionally. Anyways, you could see that it's a lot clearer. It's not so hazy. This side was not so good, but I couldn't figure out what to do with that one big splotch. But compare that to how it started. I mean, that's a huge difference. So I guess I'm going to keep going. I mean, at least I'll have some results that are better. I did learn something that if I sand it, not with the 500, but with something lower first, then it kind of cleans up the major part because the 500 wasn't doing enough. So I'm going to keep going with that idea. Like I said, if I totally ruined my headlights, whatever. It was terrible to begin with. Okay, so I finished the 500, the 800. I discovered, well, personally, I don't know, maybe if it's not even right, but I found out that if I used a lower grit sandpaper, just did the whole light, pulled off most of the yellow, then the 500 actually worked really well. I think they should have said that in the directions, or at least included a lower, because the 500 is too high. Anyways, take a look at what it looks like now. It's a lot cleaner. And so both of them are much, much better. This side over on this one, I got a lot better than the other side because of using that lower grit sandpaper. So now I'm ready for the 3000. And it says it requires to be wet, and got to spray both the sandpaper and the surface of the light. So we'll see how that goes. I just got to thinking that with the 3000, it jumps from 800 to 3000. I don't know if that's too big of a jump. That kind of makes me nervous, especially since the 0 to 500 seemed like way too big of a jump. Well, I actually kind of think it turned out okay. It fogs up afterwards, so I think that has to do with not having the polish on and not having that final sealant. Hopefully that's the case. I don't know what else to do otherwise, but it feels ultra smooth. So All right, now I'm gonna polish this one and then go over and do the other one for both the 3000 grit and the polish. Well, there it is. Look at that. That's pretty. It's not perfect. I've never done this before, but I think that is a huge improvement. All right, well, I'll do the other one. Basically probably be the same result. And yeah, there you have it. I guess it works out okay. The kit is okay. I think my final thoughts on it are, don't start with the 500. Start with something lower. I went down to the 220 with my regular palm sander, and that made a huge difference. Don't go too fast. Sand it out really good, and before you move to the next stage. I think that made a big difference on this passenger side headlight by taking the time to get it down with the 220, then go to the 500. Maybe you can even do increments in between. Take your time between each step before moving on to the next sanding paper. And I guess if you're not happy with the result, then maybe not try it yourself. I don't know. I'm happy because the yellow's gone. I'm pretty sure my lights have improved way more than 100% just because I could barely see through them. Now I'm pretty sure I'd be able to see the road now. They weren't great to begin with as far as headlights anyways. So I'm just hoping that this clarity helps out. All right, well, this was kind of a tutorial, kind of a, hey, this is what I did. Maybe you have some better suggestions. All right, thanks for watching. This is 4 months later, and I just wanted to show what it looks like, what the results were, and highlight again that it worked out. I was hesitant on doing this job, trying to do it myself with this kit that I didn't really know if it would work very well. And I did some modifications to the kit, of course. And I did explain that in the video as I was doing it. But here's the results. This is 4 months later, so let me show you. They still look nice and clear. They have not returned to their yellow, and so that's good. The only thing I would say is I would get a kind of a wet rag because, as you can tell, I've been driving on the highway with it for 4 months. I haven't washed the car since, so shame on me for that. But as I kind of wipe them off, if I were to go and wipe them off, boom, there it is. Nice, beautiful, crystal clear. Same thing on this side. If I just wiped them off real quick, wet rag, back to that nice shiny. So if I would clean the car, it would have done that naturally. The other thing that I didn't show in the video because I didn't have it yet was the protectant that was supposed to be used after I finished with the kit. So let me show you that now. And I put that protectant on after I ordered it from Amazon. I think it was like $12 for the bottle. I put it on 1 or 2 weeks later. So here's the original kit that I bought from Harbor Freight. They probably have new packaging by now or something, I don't know. But on the inside, it had all of the things that you needed. It even gave you tape for taping off the light. I just used blue masking tape instead of this one. And then this was the polish compound they gave you, and then all the pads there along with the drill bit piece. But in the directions of this, it said to use a 3M product. I Googled that, found it on Amazon, and it was this. It's this 3M synthetic wax protectant. And all it does is you just take a rag and you put some of this onto the rags and then you wipe it onto the light. And it has the directions on the back of it. It describes everything that you need to do for that. Real simple. I think I paid $12 for this bottle and I used hardly any of it. It doesn't take much. It goes a long ways. It even describes that. So Yep, definitely worth it. I'm glad I did it. It saved me a lot more money if I was going to replace the lights, which I personally was prepared to do because I didn't know what else to do for cleaning these. I'd never done it before. All right, again, thanks for watching, and please subscribe. Have a good evening.